Hello, and welcome to another episode of Straddle and Turn. I'm your host, Jay Morney. I have with me Sangeticus today. We're going to talk about the fashion show. It aired a couple of hours ago, so we're going to watch it together on stream. I thought that would be a nice treat for all of us. So, we're going to start off. So, today in the video, they showed 5 new sets. But with their June Alpha update banner, they displayed another 5 sets that we can get. So we're going to start with the video, and then we're going to move on to the June Alpha update banner to showcase some of those. So let's start. Start the video. 3, 2, 1. Here, I'm going to play with some sound.
Aeternum Fashion Week.
So like the fact that they did this was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So do you think this is cloth armor or leather?
I think it's leather.
You think it's leather?
Yeah.
What makes you think it's leather?
The gauntlet, the gloves on the top here, and the shoes at the bottom.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause it right now. We're gonna take a closer look at the at the suit. Okay, so honestly, it might be medium armor because there is chains around it, right?
Right.
So, and sometimes like it's really weird because they have like full plate, then they have like half plate, then they have like cloth, and they have leather, right?
Right.
So it's really weird because like some of the half plate kind of falls like a little bit on the medium side. Because like in like I'm not sure if you remember how the armor works, is that like you can combine your pieces, and as long as you're in the weight bracket, you're either considered heavy, normal, or light.
Oh, I had no idea. No.
Oh, you don't? Okay. So, yeah. So, it's basically like that. And that determines, like, your dodge roll and shit like that. So, it determines, like, how far you can dodge and shit like that. Anyways. So, yeah. Okay. So, we're going to move on. Like, honestly, I'm not too much of a big... Yeah, I paused it too. But, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of this... Of this suit. Like, the belt does look sick, but, like, too bad we can't get belts individually. Because, like, that little animal skull does look pretty cool. All right.
What do you think of the helmet?
The helmet of the red one?
Looks like C-3PO.
It looks like C-3PO. Yeah, it does look a little bit like C-3PO. Oops.
Mobility.
Check out 16. Number 16 on the
like
you pause at 16.
Yeah. It's just before the just before the fucking right there. Honestly, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I hate the helm. I'm a very big plate fan. I'm not much of a cloth or leather.
I like the gloves and the boots. I think it would do well if you had an option to sort of remove your helmet.
I think there is an option to remove your helmet.
If that's the case, then I could see myself wearing this, no problem. Especially that with the dyes, you could change the colors. I could already think of some colors that I would be putting in there. You know, sort of blue and gold type of thing going on. Even the red and gold, I like a lot of the stuff about it after the helmet. As soon as we get to the helmet, that's where it's like, okay, we're losing theme. But, you know, that's my opinion, right?
All right. All right, so we'll move on to the next one. I fucking hate this next one.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, wait for it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to move it a bit. Yeah, this one right here. I like the shoulders. I hate the rest of it.
Right. You want to pause it just for a second?
Yeah, I'll pause it. Give me a sec. I'm just gonna go on a full view. All right. What's up?
Okay, let me get to the full view too, bro. Does this not look like Dragon Age or Dragon Age? What were they called? The Grey Wardens were fighting the.
Oh, I didn't play much Dragon Age. I can't help you there, sir.
Anyway, there's like a monster that has the exact same horn fashion. I just thought it was interesting. It was like very similar, you know. But then again, I think this angry earth armor was to resemble that mushroom boss.
Yeah, it's supposed to like those people like eating Grove area.
Exactly.
Off those elites.
So that's where this origin is. But it definitely with that split. Then again, you know, it could look like Diablo. So
yeah, that's what I was saying. It kind of looks like Diablo to me.
My connection is really loose because it could be connected to so many others, right? So
true.
It's okay.
Very true. But honestly, I think this is another cloth. I feel like this is very clothy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if they would have just made a robe out of the bottom half, I think it would have been perfect. Like Like if I find that like it's like tights as like your legs, it's kind of weird, you know, in the sense that
Right.
like it doesn't fit with the theme if that's a caster. Now this next one here that's coming up with the silver gold face with like no eye sockets. Another part. I hate the mask, but I get what they were going with. They're going kind of look like a thieves guild slash brotherhood guild from like Skyrim. It gives me those really big Skyrim feels on this third suit, and but the rest of the suit, I love it. Like I love the leather working. I love how like there's that daggers up top. I even love the cut like the color choice of shirt. Like I feel like I really fuck with this. Like I don't fuck with a lot of leather outfits, but I fuck with this one.
Right.
Because like this one promotes like stealth, like you know.
Right. Yeah. These, I find with these three already for these three first outfits, we're really fucking with everything else besides the helmets.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But like
yeah.
I said, like I'm mostly a fan of the plate stuff. Like I'm not a big fan
Right.
of the cloth and leather stuff, which I feel like most of these were being debuted right now. So
Right.
we're gonna move on to the next one. But it does look really nice. I even like the pants on this one.
Mhm.
But it does feel like of the era, you know? Like I feel like they would have this. You don't feel like? No?
There needs to be. Okay, I'm pausing. I
Okay,
paused it.
I'm gonna pause too.
There needs to be a set that is just like the Conquistador on the cover. I
Yeah,
know
there
that
is.
those
I'm
look
pretty sure there is.
yeah, I think there was too, but I think these are just displaying new ones. But those are the sets that I'm going for. Those are the sets that I want. I wanted more closer, like it's an alternate history, but it's still history, right? So I'm trying to. I want to get as a consumer. I want to get items that are a bit more historic, a bit closer to the familiar. I know they're trying to branch out, right? Azoth, Aeternum.
Yeah.
Aeternum's a different world.
Like they're
It's a
trying to
new
be their own
world.
style by cap, but like how can I say stylized in like that century, like you know.
Right. I get that. I respect that. This should still be in the game, of course, because people will love it. But for myself as a consumer, I want something closer to home, closer
Yeah,
to what somebody from the Western world during the Age of Exploration would bring over.
for
So
sure.
that's just my take on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue with 4.
Okay, so we're gonna continue. It's still debuting 3. He just fell in. Like the fact that they did this, I feel like it was a really good way to show off their garb. You know.
Right. You tell me when you're at 137.
I'm gonna hit it in 3 seconds. Oh, I'm hitting it right now. So right now we're at this purple sea. Like, look, I feel like this is a really good caster. See, this is a heavy armor set that personally
That's a heavy armor set.
I don't fuck with at all. Like at all. Like I feel like this would be good pieces to use to combine to make sets look nicer. But like I definitely wouldn't go for this.
Chop the head off and you look like a beast.
Yeah, yeah. This looks fucking sick though.
This is the one, the 5th.
Yeah, on the 5th.
This is the one that I would, out of all of the new ones, for some reason, at first, I thought it was the ugliest, and then I sort of grew into it. I really like it.
Yeah, I would
With
change the
helmet.
color. I would change the color. I'd probably make it all black and gold because that would be fucking sick.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, like the fact that we can dye it and shit like that, that's really nice. This is gonna add like a lot of flavor. I really fuck with this because it feels like a little bit Roman in the front, and then you get like that, it like kind of like almost Egyptian face mask from that era. And yeah, so now that we're done with the video, I'm gonna move over to the June updates page because they also show some new sets there. So Sanjo,
Right.
the first set that you see on the June Alpha update part 2 in the banner, you'd probably love because it's exactly the types of one that you were going for. That old school conquistador type of style.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do you see it here with the hat and the feather on the hat? Tell me when you reach the
let me
page.
click it. Pardon me.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, that is more what I believe in. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, you see it. The 3 others. One of them looks like you're Sauron.
Yeah,
The other
like,
one looks like you're, from what's it called? Like you're the Forerunners from Halo.
yeah.
And then you got that sort of, I see the one in the background. It's got that samurai sort of with the horns and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. See, like,
I can't see it chopped up, but it looks good. It looks good. They're all fine. I mean, people are we want people to look different, right?
Yeah.
We don't want people to look the same. And I think To give New World a bit of a break, I think I'm asking for something that's just a bit too regular.
Yeah, which is more like less this first one. So like they're even still like thinking about like your type of people, like like
Hmm.
uh like I find like these helmets, I fuck with all these helmets.
Right.
Like I would probably mix and match. Like I would probably
Hmm.
do the one on the right, on the far right. It's like probably like that's like some sick plate armor, even like the
Hmm.
hood, like the helmet. Like
Hmm.
I love all the helmets here, even the hat.
Right.
Like this is like to me like these sets that they put in here. I feel like they're intentionally lowering our standards with the sets that they showed us in the fashion show, and then keeping like these nice sets in the background. Like
Right.
for us to like explore and find out, which is pretty sick. I just hope they thought of a system where we can transmog our stuff because from what I heard in the forums and stuff like that, how it works is that when you purchase a skin from their store, you just choose to attach it on. Like, and I think each piece,
Any piece.
any piece, and then it just looks like that permanently.
Right,
I
but like
hope.
you don't lose it, right? Like you.
No, you don't lose it. You bought it, so you can just transmog it to anything you want on your character screen. So like you can just straight up go like in. Oh, I don't want it to look like this anymore. Boom, you go in your bag, turn it off. I hope they keep. I hope it's like a collection system that when you collect a piece, it just goes in there, and then you can just transmog it to anything you want. Because if that's the case, that's really sick, and then it goes to show like the elite armor is even better. But what I ended
Right.
up finding out even today is that a lot of the armor now is gonna have prefixed affixes. So like,
Okay.
so like let's say if it's like the corruption armor, you'll always have like corruption resistance rolled, and you'll always have like HP or whatever. So there's depending on like what tier it is, like blue, green, purple, orange. So
Hmm.
it's gonna be really cool. So now like depending what area you farm, you're gonna get certain affixes for that, or in just affixes in general that are gonna be tied to the named gear. So that's gonna be
Right.
pretty sick. So on top of all this cool gear, well, now we're gonna start getting stats that are prefixed instead of having completely randomized,
Mm.
which is very sick because when we craft, we always get one that we always get to choose. So it's kind of like having that, but for the gear drops. And it's less time we have to farm. It's basically what it is. It's just pretty sick.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So like honestly, I'm gonna end with this playset. Was is probably my favorite here, but
Hmm.
for the helmets, it's definitely the one with the horns. That one looks the sickest.
Yeah. I just can't wait until we start playing the beta so we can sort of get the whole idea of where they're going at in terms of aesthetic,
Yeah. True.
and definitely when, after season one, season two.
It'd be sick. Yeah. So I ended up watching the rest of the question and answers from what you call from Summer Games Fest, and
Right.
like they said this like one line that I had a lot of hope for, that they said they weren't gonna add the pay to win stuff. Okay, like they said if they were going to add it, like on top of that, they're like if we plan to add it, it wouldn't be like it would be sorry. There's like if we were to add it, it would be years down the line. So
Okay.
that means like years down the line can be like at least a couple. I'm gonna say at least 2 years. So that means like that means it's a healthy game for 2 years, bro. I was really happy with that. At least that's like I'm hoping for at least two.
Right.
And I hope they find a way to engage people to buy it. Like since it's like releasing around my birthday, like I said, I've been like boasting that like I might just buy everything in the store day one.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because why not support the game that you really love?
Right.
So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. So with that said, let's move into some lore. So I've been going through some of the lore pages that we found in preview, and I've been scraping together some lore points, right?
Hmm.
Like I found out that the factions all kind of like live together in peace because of the corruption, and they have a pack, and that's why we all have to go to each one, and each one gives us a task. Like the Marauders give us a task of strength. One gives us a task of wisdom. The other one gives us a task of will or whatever, right?
Right.
So the reason why they do that is to see which one you're best suited for, which is kind of weird because if your factions at war with another, you kind of like want as many people on your side or you want strength, right? But like they're actually evenly dividing it because they want people who are better suited for their cause, one, and second of all for the position they play in the town. Because
Right.
like each one has like their own town. Like one's for protection, one's for gathering knowledge and figuring out what the fuck's happening, and it's pretty sick. So like that's actually good to know that they have like a pack. You know, that's the reason why they're not fighting within Sanctuary. Like they deemed it Sanctuary because ended up finding out that all the settlements, all the big settlements, they're pretty much sitting on gigantic deposits of Azoth. Like there's something in the soil. There's some like Azoth in the soil, and they don't know like why it's reflecting on it, but you can assume that it's like a huge Azoth resource that's preventing them from like the corruption from actually spawning there. That's why they spawn around, because in the lore pages it explains that corruption only forms where there's a lack of Azoth.
Okay.
Right? So that's why in the world we get the corruption breaches, why they spawn there and not at the settlements. Which is pretty
Okay.
cool. But
Yeah.
Azoth is used as a power. So, and the story behind that is that the ancients were using this power to gather more knowledge and more power. Basically, they're farming it, and the more they farmed it, the more they learned about it. And that's why they're the ancients. But something happened to them, and we still don't know what. But the corruption, we don't know where it came from, but it's infused with power, and it's almost like it wants to leave the island. And we're not
It wants to
sure.
take over the whole world, right?
Yeah, it kind of wants to take over the whole world, but
Hmm.
we don't know where the corruption comes from. So like this, like you know the big baddies, like there was like that Captain Thorpe, which is the sword
Yeah.
like fire dude, and then there's Isabella, who are like
Yeah.
hard corrupted, and then there's like then there's the Siren Queen.
There's the Siren Queen too. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the
Okay.
Angry Earth and the Elementals.
Yeah. So basically, the Angry Earth was formed to fight. It was the natural cause of trying to fight the corruption, which I find was
Okay.
pretty cool. So it was like the natural way of like the Azoth corrupting nature to fight back corruption of
Okay.
like from the corrupted. But everyone who's so far, there's like they all speak of like this all like this bigger character, but we've never heard of him, or they never like I'm just named it him. I'm not sure if it's a him or her. Uh, but sorry. So yeah, so like they all speak of like this higher power, and these people are always referred to as like arbingers, and the arbingers are the ones that like gain its power, but like are not as strong as it. So like Isabella and Thorpe are like arbingers of the corrupted, or like shit like that. Like I forgot what they like technically labeled them, but they're like something of the corrupted. Like I would say follower for now, and like and they do its bidding. So there's like a lot of crazy shit. But like Isabella, what I ended up finding out about her is that she wants to like oh sorry not Isabella, the Siren Queen. What I found out about her is that she wants to like grab her power to go back to sea to where she came from, so that she can like use that power to take over her Earth.
Hmm.
So that's where it clicks for me, that like basically they can have figures from any era coming into this island, like the Viking era or the Roman era, and have like a Roman baddie or that who wants to
Right.
take over the island, who's just like found a new way to use Azoth, or we can have a Vikings like who wants to come back, or do you think this is Valhalla and now there's a new invasion, you know? So like there's like a lot of cool shit like just based on that, like the fact that these people know that they can get off the island too, which is pretty sick. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it sounds sick. It sounds like there's a lot of potential in terms of lore as well. I mean, already what they given us with that base, like it's very, I would say vague. You know what I mean? But in a good way, because there's so many ways that that story could morph, right?
yeah, especially that like this is like we're technically could mold the story, because this the like lore wasn't a thing in New World, right? Like this was a strictly a PvP game, PvP driven. It was meant to be like like an MMO PvP strictly, right?
Right.
But then they completely changed, and now it's becoming like an even greater game today. It's just meant for like kind of like the carnival, pretty much points of interest, dungeons, shit like that, which is pretty sick. So like all the lore is kind of fresh, and that's probably why they canceled the Lord of the Rings, because they probably realized that they have a hit, and they shut that down, the Lord of the Rings online remake, and just took all the lore writing, because Lord of the Rings is majority all lore, right?
Right.
So why waste those great writers wasting their time on that when they can just be doing the New World lore. So there's probably going to be a lot of influence from Lord of the Rings in the story, which I'm probably going to keep an eye out for, just cause like why wouldn't they, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, there's that. Think about the amount of like expansions they can make. I mean, right now, based on the fact that we know that there's even bigger nemesis than Isabella, and Isabella is like the focus of the end game, from what we understand.
Well, not end.
How
Well, the
many? How
current end
many?
game because there's a
The
whole
current end game, right there, because
yeah
there's right. What I'm trying to say is that you defeat Isabella, and then season two, someone else comes, and then someone else comes, and then maybe like third,
yeah
fourth season, you end up at that final boss, right?
yeah
So
yeah. So like basically, what you're like to better describe what you're saying is with patch notes like pretty much uh how can I say it's like you get like the patch, let's patch 1.0, and then you get patch 1.1, patch 1.2, which is basically your seasons. Those are like the big content updates. Kind of like World of Warcraft, like with patch 1.9, you get the new dungeons and raids, like, and then in patch like 2, you finally beat Ragnaros, like, what I'm saying?
I think I was trying to lean actually more toward expansions.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you're thinking that like, well, okay. So Isabella is definitely not going to be the final boss of this expansion. Like to say, like if you consider it as expansions, uh, like like they have a year's worth of content for us after release, apparently. So they have like a huge plan. So it's pretty sick. So like that means like we won't see like an expansion till later on.
Right.
So like I thought you were talking about like how during in that year we're probably gonna get more dungeons, more raid, probably a raid, shit like that.
No, I know that. I believe that. I agree with what you're saying. You are right in that. I believe what you're saying.
Yeah,
No, but I was talking more like the story could evolve into like
crazy.
something crazy. Exactly.
Yeah, it would be fucking
You could take
sick.
you the sky's the limit. Like you were saying. What is it like? What I'm saying is Isabella is the focus of this season,
Yeah,
right? So for the next expansion, boom, another baddie,
yeah,
bam. And another thing that I liked what you said was about how they took the people from Lord of the Rings and they took all those writers and they're gonna put them here. I mean, what they could create is unbelievable. Like the sky's the limit because now they're not restricted by
token.
exactly by his world,
Yeah,
which is extremely thought out and
and like super like don't break it.
exactly. Yeah, this one it's their own, so they
Yeah,
could do anything. They could do anything to the point where they could literally have a. I know a Sea of Thieves just put that update, but they could put Jack Sparrow, or even though he's not a real character, but they could put like, for example, like a pirates to come through, or they could have the Vikings, like you had said, even Native Americans using their longbows to
yeah,
come
that would
through
be
the other
sick.
side.
That would be
You know,
so
so
sick.
it's like there's a lot of potential
That's so
that
sick. Yeah,
these guys.
though that is a
Yeah,
lot of good potential. Like I
yeah,
also hope to see a lot more battlegrounds. Like
yeah.
I know a lot of people hate queuing up for that shit, but I love battlegrounds. Like the fact there's dueling systems. I'm gonna start saying I'm gonna start dripping out that little information we have planned. I plan to host a tournament server for dueling that you guys can win crafted legendaries that I'm gonna personally make, or at the beginning maybe gold. So when the game launches around August, I'll give you guys more information. But stay tuned for the tournaments. So yeah, we're gonna be hosting those on whatever server we're on, and if it becomes popular, I'll start hosting on different servers if there's a demand, which would
Mhm.
be pretty sick. So like at first I was thinking like since people could only hold like 500K, I was thinking at first like 10K, 20K, 40K crafted legendaries when it hits 60 for sure. As soon as I start making those crafted legendaries for you guys for late game, I'll probably make for tournaments. I'll probably make one weapon of each type of legendary in case so the winner can have a pick, like or runner up and third place can have a pick, and then I'll just have to craft those legendaries for next time. So I won't. So I can just keep going. So yeah. So stay tuned for that, and also bragging rights in the server. You get to say that best duelist.
Yeah, maybe we could do something where we like immortalize their name. We post it somewhere.
Yeah, maybe in the Discord, like I'll put like a notch or like a crown next to your name. It's like how many crowns can you accumulate? It's how many tournaments you could win. Like we might even bring you on as like a tournament champion at one point. You know,
Yeah, you have
can
a
you
separate
defeat our
channel where it's
champion?
like it's written that they won the tournament at this time.
Yeah, and I was planning that like maybe me and you could narrate. Sorry, what's it called? Uh, commentate. Do the commentating of the tournament like on Twitch. You know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'll probably start. I'll see if I can stream the beta in July. With my rig. The last time I tried in 720, every time I hit combat, you guys there was like frame drops. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
turned
Uh,
into mush.
yeah. So I'm gonna try and stream around then. By August 31st for sure, I'm gonna have a pretty good rig for sure. So yeah. So stay tuned for that. So yeah. So yeah. So this has kind of been like a fashion show / lore episode.
Hmm.
So Sancho, you have anything you want to add?
Um, um, Amazon, can you get me a shirt, please? Because it's like I can't order a shirt anywhere. I can't order a hoodie. I can't order a hat. Like I want to wear New World merchandise, and it seems like I'm just stuck here, not being able to order anything. So if anybody could either send me a link to where I could get some, or anything of that nature, I'll pay. I'll buy it. I'm not asking it for free. I'll pay. I'm trying to pay for this stuff, and I can't even get it. So that's really all I have to add.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the episode, but
And
everything to deal with fashion.
yeah, and if you want to reach us to get him that shirt, just JMorty TV, YouTube. I have my email there.
Right.
So all right. So this has been another episode 5 of Stranded on Aeternum. Catch you guys next week. Peace out.